Running 178 grain ELDX with 42.0 grains of Varget. So we're just under max load. Doing 100 yards zero just to confirm where I'm at 100 yards and what the grouping looks like. So that last one was me breathing. We're averaging 259 feet per second. 2,559 feet per second. 2559.9. Our minimum was 2541.1. Our maximum was 2583.2. So we got some variance in there. That last shot was 2555.3. So we're still getting a pretty good spread. It's over 40 feet per second. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I don't know if it's my scale or not, but I suspect that it is. I don't think my scale is measuring out powder correctly. It's a cheap digital scale, the one that comes with the Hornady kit. So there's a good chance that it just doesn't hold a very tight tolerance. I'm going to start using a balance beam scale. I'll have one coming on Monday. Alright, so we're shooting a little bit slower. I didn't do a cold bore, but I'm going to go ahead and transition now to the 200 zero confirmation target. See where I'm at with my zero. Zero looked a little bit low, kind of expected, considering I'm about 50, 60 feet per second slower than I was last week. But we're going to go ahead and keep the zero where it is. I don't want to mess with that. I think this target's around 240 something. I'm going to have to check. But I think I'm going to hold a little bit high on this target because I'm going a little bit slower than I was last week. $240 yards. laze it just to make sure, because we set the bench in slightly different every single time. Bouncing back between 233 and 244. The last time I shot it, I lazed it at 240. So that was 0.3. We'll set it at 0.3 and just go with that. 0.4. Looks like 0.4 is a pretty good call. Still getting a lot of variation in my shots. That was 25-38. So we're not getting a lot of consistent velocity still. Hopefully the powder scale, using a balance beam powder scale, will increase my consistency, because this is a really wide variation and it's been that way since I've been reloading. All right, this target's 304. So for 304, we were sitting on 0.6. So we'll go ahead and put her on 0.6. We'll do 0.7, because we added one to the last shot. We're going to go with 0.7. Just got the bottom edge of it. We're going to take another shot and add another mil. We're going to add 2 more mils. We're at 0.9. At this range, I think that'll raise it up about 3 inches. I definitely jerked that trigger, but it did raise it up the way I wanted it to, about maybe 2 inches. But I did jerk that trigger. It's probably up about 2. All right, I think this one's 355. I'm gonna laze it and check what my book says. Yeah, last time I shot that, where the bench was 355. Laser saying 356. We're gonna go with, when it was warmer and a little less humidity, we were at 1.0 and another shot at 1.1. We're gonna go ahead and go with 1.3. see where it went. I was aiming at the wrong target. I was aiming at the 400. Let's try that again. All right. Mistakenly shot at the 400. I'm going to go ahead and try this 355 again. Low, about the 730. We're going to put another one in it. We're going to raise elevation 2 more mils. So that puts us at 1.5. That was a better shot. All right, we're set in on the 400. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Been shooting quite a few rounds in succession. I want to let the barrel cool. All right, we're going to take a shot at that 400. I've put it in the ballistics calculator. It's calling for 1.7, I think. I'll double check. But with our current velocity average, I think 1.7 is what it's calling for. So I'll take a look at that calculator before I take my shot again just to confirm. And we'll see if we can hit it with the first round hit. I think it's going to be low with this humidity. .7. Let me look at what the variable is for the humidity. Humidity variable is, let me change these values. Bring it closer to the proper temperature and humidity level. Humidity is 89%. And the temperature is in the around 50, 51. Let's see what that does. Still calling for 1.7. All right, we'll dial in 1.7 for the first shot at 400 and see where we're at. I'm about to take a shot, guys. I'm going to take a shot in case you want to put your ears in.
Thanks for the heads up.
So I dialed in at 1.7 on that 355. I'm dialing in at 1.9, not just 1.7, because I think it'll fall either low or it's going to fall short at 1.7. All right, here we go. I think I hit it in the left shoulder. Let me look at the scope. I definitely pulled it, but yeah, I believe it's left shoulder. Yep, right on the edge, left shoulder, it looks like. No, maybe not. It looks like the holes. I hit it. I just can't see where I hit it. Let me try and get zoomed in on it a little bit better. Definitely hit it.
Basically, this is giving us parallel, right? If I'm in a parallel axis setup, yeah, we are parallel axis. Okay. So if we pull forward like 10 feet, we will actually be shooting them and putting those on the right target. Same in the road. Have you seen my AR-10?
Oh, the splash is towards the bottom. I just hit the edge. So I'll take another shot. I'm going to come up another 2 mils. 0.2 mils, not 2 mils, 0.2 mils. So we're going to put it at 2.1 for this next shot. Yeah, had to come up 2.2 more mils. I think a lot of it has to do with the variation I'm getting in the powder charge. So hopefully, man, I really hope that balance beam scale does a better job. All right, I'm set up on 5 now. I'm going to take a little bit of a break before I take this shot. Last shot on 400 that was closer to center mass was 2553.3 feet per second. So still getting a lot of variation. The ballistics calculator is saying 2.8, but every time I've taken a shot with the ballistics calculator, it's been low this morning. So I'm going to go a full 3 mils on 500 when I take the shot. All right, we're going to go ahead and take the shot at 5. We're going to dial it in to 3 mils. Three mils was a pretty good call. I jerked it off to the left, or I'm sorry, I jerked it off to the right a little bit from center mass, but 3 mils was a good call on 500. All right, I'm looking at the 600 right now. Previous data on 6, I shot 3.5 mils for a center mass hit. So the ballistics calculator is now saying for our conditions 4 mils. I'm going to go ahead and dial it in at 4 mils. It may drop low, and it's hard to see when they drop low out here on that one. When I set the target in, I could see a bunch of bullet holes, though, from last week, just drilling in the ground right in front of the post. So anyway, we'll dial it into 4, like the ballistics calculator says, but I think it's going to drop low. That's what the theme has been. I think I'll need a 4.1, actually. I'm going to do 4.1 and see where it ends up. I still think it's going to drop low, though. looks like it splashed the bottom. I can't really tell. I'm going to zoom in all the way on my scope, see if I can see it. Nope. I'm already almost zoomed all the way, but it definitely splashed the bottom. Pretty sure on that one. Let me look at the scope. Yeah, it looks like the splash is right at the 6 o'clock. So we'll bring it up one more mil. We'll bring it to 4.2. At this range, 4.2, let's see if I can do the math correctly in my head. 0.36 times 6 would be 36, carry the 3, 18, 21, so 2.1, somewhere around 2 point something inches per click. It's 600, so that would bring it up. Another mil would bring it up, or another tenth of a mil should bring it up 10 inches. If I did my crazy ass math in my head correctly. All right, one more shot. 4.2. Looks like I did my crazy ass math correctly. Pretty close to center mass, but I did jerk the trigger just a hair off to the right. I'm happy with that shot. All right, we're gonna do some standing with tripod support. We're gonna start with the 200. I got about 9 rounds left. I think I was reading my chronograph wrong because I was going through the history and it says I'm having around a little over 12 feet per second standard deviation. I gotta look at the owner's manual. I didn't even look at it. I just started punching buttons and seeing what it did. But if I'm at a 12, I think it was 12.8 standard deviation, it's actually not that bad, but I still need to get it down to about 10 or lower, and then I should have a little bit more consistency. My groupings aren't bad. I mean, I know what I did wrong this morning. That was all breathing. But there is a disparity between the ballistics calculator and where my rounds are actually hitting. So that would be feet per second, or I'm inputting data wrong somewhere. I don't know, but I'll have to take a look at it. I'm going to finish some more of my coffee, and the neighbors are setting in their targets, and then I'm going to go ahead and start doing some standing supported on a tripod. All right, let's take our first shot at the 200.
We already asked them. They said no. They're gonna give us $2,000 credit, but it's gonna be like 8,000 to pay for. Yeah, if you got to replace the freon. Hey, if there's nothing else going on with the air compressor, the compressor's fine. I can put you 6 AC. I know.
That probably went right over it. Let's do another one.
I have no idea because we have. I haven't gone up there and looked at it. He put a mini split in there, which is fine. So we technically have like.
Oh, would have helped if I dropped it back down to my 0. I was still set at the 600. Now I feel like a dumbass.
So the kitchen, the living room, and all that stuff will be fine, but like down the hallway and around the corner where our main bedroom is, like our master, I don't know if it'll get cool back there from the mini split. So we'll see.
Especially if it's a newer one. Those things look pretty fucking.
Yeah, because that's what they did. They just put a new mini split instead of replacing the AC.
A little high into the 10 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and go to the 255. Yeah, that first shot I was still set at 4.2 mils or whatever. Yeah, no wonder it went over it.
Do you have binoculars, Cody?
All right, where's that 240 at?
I guess I'll just cover the
There it is. Yep, that's it. All right, 240. I think we dialed in at 0.4 earlier today.
First shot, ready?
I guess. Hopefully it can blow up.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about. I didn't put the upper together, so it's on wolf. It blows up. Nothing.
Pulled it off to the 9 o'clock.
I gave you a flex.
Almost slipped the chain on that one.
We could try to bore side it a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. If you have irons or something close to it, I'd try and do that. Cody, what do you think?
304.
I think you can try to take your
Here,
thing
go.
off and just bore
Range
through it.
cold, I'll put a piece of paper.
I think 0.7.
You want safe, Cody?
Yeah, I'm on safe. Big old 25 or what are you doing?
That went over it.
Can we go range cold for a second?
That was a bad shot.
We're going to go down range for a second.
Going down range?
Down range for a quick minute.
Just right here.
No worries.
Not too far.
All right, back on the 3. The ceasefire's over.
You hit the 50, that's the same plane. All the way off and to the right. It's a headshot.
Well, yeah, I think you went through the 25.
Which target were you shooting?
No, I was shooting at the bottom one. No, you're shooting on the first shot. Yeah, on your first shot, you hit the head.
Oh, did it?
I don't know, because if you follow his barrel, I think that hole was perfectly where that 25 is.
I mean, they got a quarter? No, it shouldn't. I mean, hey,
Not sure where it went. I'm going to go ahead and look on the footage. So it looked a little bit low, and it was to the left. The left is probably my own fault, but I'm going to bring it up one more mil.
for down, I went 10 clicks down. I would go like. Here, let me get you an actual quarter.
I got him.
Still missed.
Good try, guys. All right.
I'm thinking I need a little more support for 300 today because I am not getting anywhere near it.
It's like,
I think this is the last shot.
Drop it down about 16 turns. Do another 16.
got it on the 9 o'clock edge this time, and that would have been my call.
So the wind is just fucking backwards. So we need to go left. So keep turning counterclockwise. Give it like 5 or 6.
All right, we have one more shot left. We're gonna shoot it at the 355. Dope for 355. Called for 1 mil, but we're gonna dial it in to 1.2. I think 1.2 is what we dialed in earlier today. So one shot at 355, 1.2 mils. Definitely need to get a better tripod. Looks like we hit in the lower left, maybe. I think it was lower left for that shot. Have to review the footage though, but I hit it. So pretty good day overall. Still not happy with the variance I'm getting on the velocity, but 300 gave me some trouble. Tripod supported, but 355 I got a hit first round. Wasn't exactly center mass, but I still got a hit. Overall, pretty good day.